This could very well be the best gaming controller that I've ever tested for both PC and Nintendo Switch. So I've been using the Beitong Asura 2 Pro for about a month and a half now, and I have a pretty good idea about exactly what it's capable of and where it stands against the competition. I've mainly been playing a lot of Fortnite and GTA 5 on this controller ever since I broke my PS5 controller, pretty wild stick drift on it, and I really did not want to spend another $70 for a new PS5 controller. So I got the Beitong Asura 2 Pro just to see how it works since I've mainly been playing a lot of PC games lately. I think I'm confident in saying that I was quite impressed by just how well it works and does what it's supposed to do for less than half the price of the PS5 controller. And I also think that a lot of us do not think past the standard Xbox or PS5 controllers to explore other avenues because we're too concerned about quality. But look at what happened with my PS5 controller in just about 3 months. So I do think every once in a while you come across products that really deliver beyond what they're priced at, and this just might be one of them. Remember when OnePlus phones offered flagship features for a fraction of the price their competitors were selling? That's kind of what Beitong Asura 2 Pro feels in the gaming controller niche. So to start off, I'm going to be unboxing this to show you exactly what you get when you buy the Beitong Asura 2 Pro, and then I'm going to walk you through all the features that really make the Asura 2 Pro stand out as the best budget controller in the market right now for Nintendo and PC. So the first thing that you see when you open the box is an instruction manual. Thankfully it's in English, and you're gonna find details about all the buttons right here on this page, and this is where it tells you the devices that this controller is compatible with. So apparently it's compatible with PC, Nintendo, Tesla, Android, tablets, pretty much most devices. So the controller is nicely packaged with these two cushions, making sure that the analog sticks are not impacted while shipping. The sticks seem pretty nice and robust, and the buttons are nice and clicky as well. You also get a Bluetooth dongle with the controller, and this actually makes controllers super easy to use on PC because if I were to use an Xbox controller, I would have to connect it via Bluetooth. With this, it's literally just plug and play. And then finally, in the box, you get your Type-C to Type-A cable that you could use to charge the controller or play games wired if you really do not want to lose any latency, because even with the Bluetooth dongle, I found the latency to be totally negligible, but you do get that option. Now, one of the most game-changing features on this controller is the Hall effect joystick and triggers, which I'm going to talk about later in the video. Also, the joysticks have 622 Hz response rate compared to the Xbox's just 400 Hz. It also has back buttons that are totally remappable. With that said, now let's dive into the review and let me tell you guys exactly what I think about the Beitong Asura 2 Pro. Now there are 3 key areas where Beitong Asura 2 Pro excels and just blows past the competition at this price point. The Beitong Asura 2 Pro uses Hall effect joystick technology. Now what exactly is Hall effect and how is it better than standard joysticks? So to explain in simple terms, there are 2 types of technologies that controller joysticks normally use. One is the potentiometer technology that you would find in the standard PS5 or Xbox controllers. The other is what we call the Hall effect technology, which is pretty expensive and you would only find it in high-end controllers like the PS5 DualSense Edge that cost more than $200. The Beitong Asura 2 Pro uses Hall effect and is less than 1/4 the price of the DualSense Edge. The way Hall effect basically works is it uses a sensor to detect the presence of a magnetic field around the joysticks, and as the magnet moves, the magnetic field around the sensor changes. The Hall effect sensor can then measure these changes very precisely, enabling a dead zone of 0%, which you're not going to be able to find in any standard controller at this price point. The sensor inside the joystick is super special because it can make tiny electrical signal changes just by feeling the magnet move. It's like the sensor saying, hey, the magnet is right here. And because of that, video games or computers can understand exactly where you're moving the joystick without anything physically touching. And this is the reason why Hall effect controllers are extremely durable and precise when compared to standard controllers. Now the Beitong Asura 2 Pro doesn't just have Hall effect in the joysticks. Even the triggers on this controller use Hall effect, which makes it one of the most durable controllers in the market right now. Now, instead of me just saying how precise it is, I think a better way to prove to you would be to actually test it against the PS5 controller. Alright guys, so here, as you can see, I'm using the PS5 controller, and on all the 4 axes of the joystick, the dead zone is way above 0%, which means if you're going to play first-person shooters, your accuracy is just going to be toast. Now, if we test the circularity, again, the average rate of error for the left stick, as you can see, is probably 11%, and for the right stick is about 10%. Now, let's compare this to the Asura 2 Pro. So right off the bat, the dead zone on all the axes is as close to 0 as possible. And again, if we check the circularity, the average rate of error is barely 1% for both the sticks, guys. This is exactly what you need for good aim in games. Now with standard controllers, you always run the risk of stick drift over time. In standard game controllers, the joystick movements are often detected by physical contacts. These are tiny parts that touch each other to send signals about the joystick's position. Now over time, as you use your controller, these parts can wear out or get dirty. And when that happens, the controller might start registering movements even when you're not touching your joystick. This unwanted movement is what we call stick drift. It's like having a character in a video game that starts moving on its own because the controller thinks you're pushing the joystick, when in fact it's just a hardware malfunction. With the Hall effect technology in the Beitong Asura 2 Pro, the risk of stick drift is significantly reduced since it uses a magnet and a sensor to detect movement, completely avoiding any kind of physical wear and tear. The Beitong Asura 2 Pro comes with its own application, which is called the B-Top, and this app offers extensive customization options from lighting to button remapping, and you can even adjust things like your joystick sensitivity and even your trigger sensitivity. So just to give you guys a little overview of some of the things that this app lets you do, if you want to change the color of the ring light on your controller, you can do it from right here. You can pick between one of the many colors offered, and you can also choose if you want a static color option, or if you want to add like a breathing effect on it, you can do that as well. You can also control the vibration strength on both the left and the right side of the controller. And if you go over to this screen, you can map all the buttons on the controller individually, and this is where you're going to be able to map the 2 back buttons on the controller. Now on this screen, you can control your joystick curve switch, and like I mentioned earlier in the video, you can go all the way down to 0 for your joystick dead zone, and this is especially useful if you're playing first-person shooters where you need precision more than anything else. This is where it comes to play. Moving on, you also have features like trigger and joystick calibration, which are also really useful. And these are pretty much all the advanced customization options that the B-Top app gives you. And in my opinion, this level of customization is quite rare at this price point, making the Asura 2 Pro a standout option for gamers looking for a personalized experience. Speaking of price point, the Asura 2 Pro is incredibly affordable at just $37.99, but with the special promotion from Beitong, the link to which you're going to find in the description, you can get your hands on one of these for just $37.99. This price point, combined with all the features that it offers, makes it an unbeatable value in the gaming controller market. Now, of course, the Asura 2 Pro does not have all the features as some of the other controllers like the DualSense Edge in the $200 range, like additional accessories like paddles and that sort of stuff. But this is why it's the best budget controller that you're gonna find in the market. I think it meets all the criteria for a solid controller without any major drawbacks. For $37.99, you get Hall effect sensors, extensive customization, 0 stick drift, and multi-platform support for PC, Nintendo Switch, TV, Android smartphones, and tablets. Personally, I would give the Asura 2 Pro a solid 9.5 out of 10, as it really does check all the boxes for a high quality, budget friendly gaming controller.